We are here with Fran. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm fine. We are going to do a little interview
Perfect.
for our podcast.
Yeah.
And let's start. Tu debut como director con Más fue muy elogiado. ¿Qué te impulsó a contar esta historia?
I think two things come to me as most important now. Looking back, it's been a few years. When I watched the film, it's clearly about my daughter, having a child. She was born. I have to think about it. No, she was born 2016 and September. And the shooting in Parkland, Florida, was a terrible shooting in America, and I think that was February 2018. She was very young, so she was about a year and a half. And obviously she's not in school, but it was all of these shootings affected me, affect everyone. You know, the high profile ones make the whole world pause and kind of think, what the hell is going on? And but having a child now, and that one was so significant and so awful and so many lives lost. I remember that day I was driving, listening to a parent on the news, and I literally had to pull over. I was so affected by it. When, you know, especially as a brand new parent, you feel a lot. You're a little tired. You're a little crazy. You're very emotional. You're overprotective. So it hit me very hard. And I was worried about the country that she was going to grow up into. And I thought, this is insane. I don't understand how this keeps happening. So I felt like, as a parent, I just wanted to know more, you know? And that's when I started reading about different shootings, reading about gun laws, reading about grief, reading about, you know, how, not just with shootings in particular, but how people deal with tragedy. Because I was scared of it. I was honestly scared of it. I mean, it's your biggest fear as a parent, is losing your kid. You know, so it felt like, almost in an obsessive way, I wanted to know, how the fuck would I deal with this, you know? And it led me to these meetings, and there was something from that I remembered I studied in college. We were actually doing a musical of Miss Saigon, an adaptation of Miss Saigon that took place 20 years later, where the parents are being reunited with the son, and they're an estranged family, and it was about reconciliation. To research that adaptation, we had all sort of studied and watched amnesty trials from South Africa and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. So it was a very kind of strange connection, but they were so powerful, these amnesty hearings, where the goal wasn't to punish, the goal was to heal, the goal was to forgive, the goal was to repair a fractured society. And I remember those meetings, and I was reading about the shootings and parents finding ways to meet with each other, mostly in secret. And I made this connection. I thought, I want to tell that story. You know, I want to understand what those meetings are like. And the second thing, and sorry for the long answer,
Not much.
America, I was just talking about this with the jury. What's so frightening, I think, about our country right now is it's not just that it's divided, right? You know, you don't just feel left and right, and that's happening all over the world. You feel like we are losing our ability to even change our minds. Do you know what I mean? We recently had a debate in America, you know, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Now, without even getting into sort of my own politics, people will watch this, and you get the sense it doesn't even matter what happens, that no one's vote changes. And it's a frightening proposition, where you feel like someone could go up and say absolutely disqualifying things. It's not going to matter. Doesn't matter. And with that kind of futility and sort of pointlessness and meaninglessness, I get truly frightened about the direction we're headed in. And I think mostly, again, back to my kid, who's going to grow up in what kind of world where sort of nothing matters and you kind of just believe what you believe and sort of, screw everyone else. It's troubling. So, long answer. I apologize. That was the sort of genesis of the film. Was I want to understand these tragedies in our country. I want to understand how people might move forward after them, after this kind of tragedy. And underneath it, this sort of secretly, my messaging was much more about we have to find a way to be able to listen to the people we don't want to listen to, and to try and find a shared human experience that might bring us together, and a shared, in the film, what's really there is a shared suffering. And that if I can see you suffer like me, I can see your humanity, I can believe in your humanity. And that's what ultimately I think brings the two mothers together at the end of the film, is that it doesn't matter anymore. They believe in each other's pain, that believing in each other's pain brings us sort of such a undeniable human connection that's the kind of hopeful message of the movie. As difficult and emotional as it might be, that's to me it's hopeful. Sorry, and I know I made you.
No,
sorry.
I want to do you justice. That's right. But,
Una lección que aprendiste dirigiendo esta película, o si no tú como actor.
Yeah,
sobre la vida.
Sí,
you have
general.
In general, about life.
No. I just did it. You have like deep breaths,
Respirar profundamente.
En masse, it felt like there was always like a crisis. You care so much. You put everything into this movie, particularly when you write and direct it and produce it. It's your baby, they say, but it's emotional. And it's really hard, right? It's very hard work. And that leads to, I think, more of a feeling of crisis than an actual crisis, right? And I was told, people said, relax, like, you're freaking out right now about this thing. There's going to be another one. Do you know what I mean? And it's good advice. It's and so I can already think, as I have a couple of films or projects that I hope to complete in the next couple of years. We haven't started shooting. I can see these things arising, and I think I'm better experienced now just with the one film to sort of be like, this isn't it. There's going to be 100 of these over if we're successful. If we're even successful, we'll have 100 crises. Like they're good, and you work through it. You pace yourself, right? Another funny thing I think about editing, as an audience, I do this too. I'll watch a film. My friend wants to know what I think. Give notes. Sometimes you'll say, I don't really like that scene, or that scene didn't work for me, or I don't know about that actor. And you get the note and you're like, shit, that's what am I supposed to do with that? I can't change the actor now or the scene. You get these general reactions of, nah, I don't think so, or that didn't work for me. And I think, look, maybe the actor's not good, or maybe the scene's not good, but I did find that if you go very closely through the scene, that very often it's just a single choice. It's like one shot, or it's one delivery. I don't want to say any names, but it's very possible that maybe the actor has just one kind of bad delivery, and if you can go find a way to change that for a better delivery, all of a sudden, and I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen not just on my film, but another film. People are like, "Oh, he's great. The actor, he was great in the movie," And it's this tiny little thing that's throwing people out of the film, And so they kind of make this bigger judgment when in fact it was just one small thing that took them out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I believe in that, and so I on my next movie, surely someone is going to say, I don't think that person works, or that scene's too long, blah, blah, blah. And again, they might be right, but my plan is to be like, okay, and go through it like surgically, you know, and be like, no, I think this is it. If we change this thing, I wonder what happens. And then I believe it, because I've seen it now. I've seen it with my own work, and I've seen it on other people's. It's this tiny thing. Anyway, I don't know.
But like everything in real life, it's also, you did one
The
thing
details.
bad,
Yeah. Oh.
bad, and the people judge you.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
¿Qué diferencias has notado entre actuar y dirigir? ¿Qué es más desafiante?
Well, you know, I'm a frustrated actor. I think, you know, I don't even, maybe I know one happy actor. You know, all actors are just desperate for the next job or think they're never going to work again. So I think to be an artist comes with a lot of frustration, I think. And as I get older, I think I understand better who I am as an actor and my strengths and my limitations. And now that I've directed a film, now that I've chosen a cast, sadly I can say, and I think this is kind of a harsh reality, but sadly very often talent doesn't matter. You know, that you expect everybody to be generally talented, and so you're looking for something very specific, and sort of, I still will go. I'm supposed to go audition and do a Zoom with a casting tomorrow night, and it's painful to think, oh, it might be over in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They might be like, yeah, okay, he's not. That's not what we're looking for, and you can give a very natural, good, or funny, or whatever it is. You can do a good job, and yet just not be what they're looking for, and I think it's a reality. So that's a difficult thing as an actor. It's just the life of an actor, I think. I wonder if my strength and maybe why I believe and have confidence in my career as a director, even with the one film, I believe I will make more. Is I think maybe what I love most is storytelling, and as my talent as an actor might actually be my love for storytelling. So I can maybe read the script and understand, oh, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to tell this story, and I can do this. Whereas, and I'll use Andrew Garfield because he's here. Mm-hmm. I worked with him. We were just talking about Death of a Salesman. There's a depth to a lot of actors, an emotional depth, and kind of intelligence for human instinct and human behavior that I think does sometimes go deeper, you know, and their ability to sort of deliver lines, and their presence on camera or on stage. And so as I get older and have my frustrations as a career as an actor, I don't see that as a director, because I just see the ability to tell a story, which kind of gives me joy, and I see it as a challenge, not as a frustration. Okay. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Maybe yeah. I'm hoping directing goes better. Yeah, right.
Si tuviera que elegir solo un género para dirigir, ¿cuál sería?
Oh, God. You know, Mass was so emotional, right? And it's hard to get away from that. The mistakes I made as a filmmaker, or did I draw enough attention to the subject the way I desired to? You know, these are lingering into my next project. So I have these two films, 2 scripts, and they're very emotional. And I keep thinking, I'll get out of that. I want to make a comedy. I want to make a horror film. I want to have a diverse career. But this emotion seems to be carrying through my films. My favorite movies are, 2001, I love 2046, emotional love story, but science with this world of science fiction, and I love Star Wars. You know, so it's like a split personality. You know, there's this guy who wants to make fun commercial films, and yet when I go to start writing, I'm like crying. You know what I mean? I don't know. So it's strange, and I believe like I'm gonna wash my hands of all this heavy stuff, but at the moment, I think I treat writing almost like a performance.
Yes.
Do you know? And I can't go to the coffee shop for a couple hours and didn't write. I have to be up, usually, ideally before the sun, and then I'm, go for a run, and then I lock myself in a room and hopefully start crying. You know what I mean? Like that to me is, and maybe what the disappointment as an actor, I'm finding fulfilled as a writer, and as a director. I never they never cast me as Hamlet, so now I'm going to write this fucking intense script, Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Yes. So it's I don't know. It's a tough question to answer, but maybe there's an idea in that response.
Okay. Y ahora cambiando un poco de tema, ¿qué significa para ti formar parte del jurado del Festival de Cine de San Sebastián?
It's a big honor. I feel impressed and intimidated by my fellow jury members. I think I feel like the inexperienced one. Having said that, Jose Luis, the director, I know the movie was successful here. I wasn't able to make it because I was acting. It killed me. I wanted to be here. So I tried so hard. And so when he reached out about this opportunity, it was an incredible honor, because it's in some ways this kind of personal redemption to sort of get back here. Yeah. And it's a kind of a, look, maybe it sounds silly, but you want that affirmation, you want that sort of confirmation in someone's belief in your ability, And this festival was, even though I wasn't able to make it, it is really important to me. We won a Young Audience Award. It meant a lot to me that film actually touched young people. The young people really connected with it. Meant a lot. And so it's a really special honor. I'm trying my best to prove that I'm worth it. You know what I mean? But we have a fun group. I'm hopeful. I think our deliberation will be pretty easy. I think we have disagreements for sure, but I think we've coalesced on what's most important. So I'm hopeful we're going to do it in a few hours, and I think it'll be done tonight, which is good.
¿Y cuál es la película que más te ha sorprendido?
Well, yeah, and I don't want to get in trouble by saying, look, I love Mike Leigh. Mike Leigh was a big inspiration on Mass. His early television work, Truth About Lies. I watched his movies, and I thought I want to bring some of that sensibility to the realism of Mass. So it's kind of thrilling to think that I'm a jury in a competition that he's included in his film, and it's that was very exciting. I wasn't familiar with Albert Serra. I think I understand how controversial this film is. And now that I've gotten to know him and his work a little bit, I think it's fair to say I suspect there's a kind of provocateur, sort of almost, it feels almost like a performative quality to how he represents himself in the world. He seems like he's going to be, despite the controversy, it seems like he may have a place in kind of film for a while. because it's really bold filmmaking, but very sensitive to the controversy that and the polemic that is the subject of the film, bullfighting. There's a common theme to a lot of the films: this loneliness, isolation, a sort of a sense of disconnection, right? And yet a longing to be with a person and be kind. So there's a lot of films that sort of explore these themes, and so there's a heaviness to the weak, you know. I need the sun to come back out, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these films are heavy. And that's not a judgment at all. What I'm saying is it's revealing about this. It's universal, but it feels very contemporary. You know, there are a lot of films being made around the world that are exploring these themes and show a lot of characters feeling isolated and disconnected, even from the people right around them. Mm-hmm. That's a hard thing to kind of reckon with as a human in this world, you know what I mean? Experiencing this and watching the art that we're making and thinking, oh, shit, you know, troubling times. So it's hard to say that's a surprise. But it makes you think, you know. I hope I didn't give anything away. No, there's no awards. No awards.
2 or 3, so that's okay.
No, it's perfect. ¿Cómo describirías el festival en una palabra?
Oh wow, that's passionate. Passionate. It's very passionate. The films, the audiences, the crowds are full. Even the early screenings, and not just the premieres. The Crucell feels full. People are waiting. People are hanging out outside before and after. The films themselves, yes, some of them explore very sad, heavy themes, but that's because people care. You know, You're seeing these beautiful Los Destellos on Falling. Mm-hmm. These are passionate films, I think, even though they're difficult. You know. There's a lot of pain and sadness to it, but I think that's because the artists care, you know, the filmmakers really care. So both on screen and off, and it's a beautiful city. People care about their food, that's for damn sure. So there's a lot of passion here. That's yeah.
Y por último, ¿alguna anécdota que te lleves para el recuerdo del festival?
I can literally walk barefoot down to the beach and jump into the water. I mean, it's amazing. I stupidly didn't bring swim trunks. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. No, I do my gym shorts, my running shorts. But I started off with, you know, the towel and the bag and kind of, you know, and I was like, screw this. I'm just going to go. I got like 20 minutes. I'm going to run, jump in the ocean and back. So that, feeling that level of comfort and kind of making myself at home a little bit, that's really, really, really special. And like I was saying, like the 12 Michelin stars we've already had to eat. I mean, that's not much of an anecdote, but that's blown me away. Even though I knew the food was good here, but to like go through this run, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah.
I have so much fun, and I think you are a great person, and good luck for your next things.
I hope so. I hope hopefully with plays here, you know, we can make it. Hopefully it's a good enough movie that I can come back here. Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah, we'll. It's all right. Well said.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.